What have we got to get in there? We storm the weather. Is that right?
Storm the weather. That's the...
Hey, if you're having this, you know the saying weather the storm.
Yeah.
Roasty come on and went, yeah, we stormed the weather that game or something. He's so thick, mate.
He's the dumbest.
He's so thick. Him and Jack Coley in a room together. Oh my god.
Oh, man, that's bad news.
Right. So firstly, Nathan, how did you enjoy your time at Concord?
I thought it was good, I'll be honest. I didn't know what to expect when I first came, but obviously when I actually got there, I enjoyed it, man. It was a good experience. Wasn't the prettiest of places, Canvey Island, innit? But everything else apart from that.
Good, that's my hometown you're talking about, mate. You can't say bad.
Talking about the weather and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it was always cold, man.
Yeah,
windy.
That's probably the first thing you notice as a player. Is how cold it is and windy.
Windy.
It's always windy.
So windy.
Windy, man.
Yeah. Was it your first taste of men's senior football as well coming to us?
Yeah, it was the first one.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a minefield to come into. It's a hard level National League South to come into. Obviously, not playing it as well. You know, and like you say, our place is not the easiest place to come and play football either. So,
no.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an eye-opening experience for you, wasn't it? To be fair.
Yeah, like the football's a lot different, man. So when you are in the academy system, obviously it's quite pretty, isn't it? As everyone knows, isn't it? Obviously there is physicality, but nothing really prepares you for when you go on loan to the men's football. You know, I was a bit shocked when I first went in the first few games, how physical it can be.
Yeah.
And if you don't roll up your sleeves, you get bullied. I learned that quite quickly.
Yeah, you. To be fair, you grew into it quite a lot, quite quickly. Though I think you had a few sub appearances, didn't you? Initially, and then you sort of got chucked in. You played a lot of right back, didn't you, for us?
Yeah, right back, man.
Yeah, so you got chucked in. I think you grew every game. Personally, I think you got better and better every game. And when you talk about, we'll talk about it in a minute, obviously. But the way the trophy run, we had some very difficult teams. Leamington was the one, wasn't it? They were physical.
Animals, weren't they?
Absolute
animals.
And you wouldn't have known.
Even doing 50-meter drop kicks.
Yeah, he was literally just punting them as high as he could, wasn't he? His height and distance. And you've gone from, probably 2 months earlier, you say playing 23 football all on the floor, playing against Leamington, who were putting 50-meter punts in the air on your head.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, experience.
Playing this game meant the team was history makers playing in the third round for the first time. Was there slight pressure there?
Yeah, I mean, although I think the way that we are, I think generally we're deemed as underdogs generally anyway. So like, I feel like Gaffer's quite good at taking all the pressure off us, which kind of just allows us to go out there and play without much fear, to be honest. So I wouldn't say it was pressure. Obviously, I think maybe a little bit wanting to be the the players that got them there. But I don't think it was too bad, to be fair. I don't think anybody really ever thought with that.
As well, obviously, I knew that is the furthest we'd ever got in a trophy. Obviously, as a club, it meant a lot to us. But I think it was better that none of you had that in your head and you just taking each game as it comes and just another game closer to Wembley, innit? You know what I mean? And I think that would have helped because it's less pressure, isn't it? Overall,
I think as well, did you say it was third round, Euan? Yeah,
it was.
So I think as well, third round, you're not really dreaming of Wems yet. So it's not like the pressure's on to get to Wems at that point. Do you know what I mean? So the pressure wasn't really cranked up completely then, I wouldn't have said.
Yeah.
Lamar headed to Concord in front in the 5th minute. Was it the best or worst time to score in the game? Because obviously after it goes 1-0 up, there's a lot of pressure on you.
No, I enjoyed it, early goal. I think it helped us a bit, and it settled because we were a bit nervous before. Well, I was. So when the goal went in, I just thought, you know what, we can relax now, and we can build into this, and it's better than them going 1-0 up. I remember we were playing, who was we playing? Houseoin or something. We were playing them in the semis, and they got the early goal.
Yeah.
It kind of puts you under the pressure, innit? More when the other team scores first. So I think we put them on the back foot early.
I think it's one of them though, isn't it? Where if you go 1-0 up and you win the game, you probably think, it wasn't the goal was fine. If you go 1-0 up and you end up conceding and losing the game, you probably think, oh, we scored too early. Like, I think it's one of them that it probably works both ways. You know what I mean? Like when we scored against Royston and they went down the other end and scored straight away, you probably think like the opposite. Do you know what I mean? But when we score early, then play quite well. I think we don't really think about it like that. To be fair,
yeah, I think it's quite. My opinion on it was because of the way we all knew Leamington were going to be, very physical, very direct, very organised. Getting that first goal was key. Forgetting how early it was, going in front against a team like that is what you want to do, innit? You want to go in front against teams like that.
Yeah, you don't want to go down.
Yeah, if you go 1-0 down against that, you just knew it'd been 2 banks of 4. You'd have had just 2 pressing you all the time, and they'd just well, they did anyway, but they would just keep putting balls back against you, and you'd have never been able to get out, would you? So you give yourself a cushion early doors, didn't we? Lamar scoring a header, couldn't believe it. I don't think he could believe it, could he?
No.
Absolute salmon, mate.
It's great, but then I personally, it's probably one that it's that type of game where getting the first goal is vital. I feel from a fan's point of view.
How are you feeling after about half time? Obviously 1-0 up, not really any chances down either end.
I think we weren't really. Didn't really feel like we weren't really that tested, were we? First half.
No.
But I think it's one of them. Like obviously, the longer the game goes on, it's going to end up being hell for leather at that point. Because obviously, it's knockout game. So obviously, you feel relatively comfy, but at the same time, you know it's going to come, don't you? And you know how it's going to come as well. So I wouldn't say we were like too relaxed about it because we knew that it was going to be absolute carnage.
Did that give you the nerves at half time, thinking we haven't taken our chances here?
Well, I think you said we were quite comfortable. Like, even though we had a lot of chances, they didn't have too many chances themselves. So it's more a case of like making sure that they don't have any more chances in the second half. I think we're speaking about keeping it tight, and we'll keep creating chances in it. So we need to take one. But at the same time, you're still a bit annoyed in it because you think should be 2-3 up against these.
Yeah.
And
that was my overriding feeling. So I think if you give Lamar them 3 chances he had, he scores the 2 he didn't, and don't score the 1 he did.
Yeah.
You just look at him. You'd done your job for 45. The first 45, you kept them. Yeah, you're right. They didn't have a chance. I don't. That territory-wise, they spent a lot of time in our half, didn't they? I think the whole game they did because just the way they play. They skip the middle third. He's always looking at putting it on your head, Nath, or putting it under you, Haigh, wasn't it? From wherever they were on the pitch. So the territory was very high, but they just didn't threaten us, did they? I really didn't feel the first half they didn't threaten us at all.
I think as well, like with the chances one, I think in the back of your mind, you probably think like this could come back to bite us if we don't take one in a minute. Like, anything could happen. But I think, also with what you just said, Lou, I think scoring the first goal probably allowed us to tighten up a bit. So when the pressure did come, it didn't really feel like we felt like we could probably handle it because when it was dropping down, it was dropping down to us because we managed to stay quite tight because we knew that we had the advantage at that point, to be fair.
Yeah.
Leamington did equalise in the 60th minute. Great strike from Morley, but do you think the team could have prevented it coming from the corner? Were you disappointed?
I think it's me. I think I've assisted him. I think I've headed it out to him and just smashed it.
You tried your best, didn't you, mate? You tried your best.
Maybe. I think maybe. And it's just one of them things, isn't it? On another day, smashes it out of the stadium to the caravan spot.
Yeah, it was a great strike. I know it's frustrating you conceded from the corner. You've done the first bit, haven't you? You know what I mean? You've cleared the header against a team like Leamington. Getting rid of a corner is massive because they had some big lumps, didn't they? Big lumps. So you cleared the first one, and then I say it's a rocket from 25 yards.
Got to get there, hasn't he?
Haigh, I'd never say that about you, mate. It's fine. I'm not criticising you for that. I remember I had quite a good view of it from the other end, and as soon as you hit it, you thought that's going to go in here. And it's a bit of a kick in the balls for a better term. It was like crap, you sustain quite a lot of aerial pressure, and then they've gone and scored that, and you're like, well, okay.
I think like as well, it's even more frustrating because open play, we probably didn't feel like we were going to concede. No. So like obviously when it comes to set pieces, it's a lot of it's like you probably feel like it's just a bit of concentration. Obviously, like like if we can get first contact against Leamington, then great. But then we've got to get around the second contact as well. So like it's probably a bit frustrating. We just think, oh, like really, like we can do so much better than that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, that's where you can be critical yourselves, isn't it? You know, is when you're playing a direct team, it's not the first contact. You need two contacts. It's the second contact's just as key, isn't it? But you can't take anything away from them. Is the left back, wasn't it? Left back, yeah. So you had a left back score that against us, and like Nate said, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, he puts that in the caravan park or onto their coach in the car park. So. Yeah, it's frustrating. Obviously, a left back scored against us in the quarterfinal as well. You like to concede the left back, Haigh. I don't like it.
Well, who was playing right back? Wasn't it Nath?
Yes.
Yeah, but Nath.
He was playing right wing. He was playing right wing.
Well, we got to match him up, mate. You're not communicating with our right wing enough.
He wasn't listening.
To be fair, the other left back scored. That was a good goal. Was that Royston?
Yeah, the Royston game.
That was decent.
Again, that was a second contact though, Haigh, wasn't it? And
I know.
To be fair, Nathan on that one. You know what I mean? The left back run past him, I think.
Man of the match, I heard.
Okay, no. I'm thinking Ben Moores, isn't it? I'm going to give him a shout. I think it was Ben Moores' man again, no? Pretty sure this game was good as well.
Was it Wellesley?
Yeah.
Wellesley's man.
It weren't actually Nate's man. All joking aside, I think Nate, you was up for the contact. I think you'd have to double up, didn't you, on the striker for that Royston game. So you can't even blame him for that one, Haigh. Sorry.
I mean,
no worry then.
Nah, I'll say he's a great strike from the Leamington boy though. And say we had to restart then, didn't we? You know what I mean? You had to go again and story of our run really, having to go again and find the desire and the motivation, dig deep to get going again. So the way the goal is scored and kickstart team, can't it? Kickstart the team that scored it. That was a really key 10-minute period actually after it, wasn't it? And it was unmemorable. So we must have done something right.
It went to extra time. How was the team feeling? What was said? Nerves?
I don't know. My schnoz was gone at that point, I think.
No, it's extra time, I think.
Oh, is that extra time? I was going to say, I didn't realise what's going on. I think, extra time. Yeah, I think we would have been nervous. What do you think, Nath?
I wasn't too nervous, to be honest. I was ready.
As a team, though, I think we probably would have been a bit like...
All of us, probably a bit. Like, obviously, I didn't want to lose, but I thought we still weathered that storm after, because I remember when they scored 1-1, they had a few chances. I remember you made a 6 save at 1-1, one header, one top corner. I don't know if you don't remember, you made a 6 save. And I was like, oh my God. And then after that save, I was like, you know what? I think we're going to win today.
Yeah, that was a key moment. I forgot about that. That was a massive save. It was. Yeah.
Or you live it all the time, mate.
You can't really have extra time. He's knocked out in it. I don't think you remember it, do you?
I only watch it back on video, mate. That's all I did.
But I say, when you're going into extra time against a team like that, though, you know, I think looking at it from our point of view, if you had a team that's quick, you had quick players against you and tricky and, you know, pass you off the park, going into extra time against teams like that is difficult because they're going to run you ragged. Obviously, with them, it's a bit different because you're in an aerial battle, wouldn't you? And you knew we'd stormed the weather for about we'd weather their storm for 90 minutes of what they didn't have a plan B, did they? Let's be honest, they didn't have a plan B. No. So if we had the fitness and determination to get through that 30 minutes, they weren't going to chuck nothing new at us. But then we had the players coming. You know, we had Dakari, it was fresh, and we had really strong midfield and stuff, didn't we? See, we had that confidence, I suppose. So, but I don't know about nerves because I was nervous because I could see the opportunity more than anything.
Yeah, I think it's the occasion, isn't it? Like, I think, like, realistically, if we play that game, like if you play that game in the league, you wouldn't get nervous because you know that if you do your jobs on second balls and that, like you probably come out and win it, quite relatively comfortably. But when it's just the occasion, knowing that it is the furthest we've been, and what was Leamington third round or quarters?
What's that?
Leamington was third round.
Third round, right? Okay, so maybe we were dreaming of Wednesday because the occasion felt quite big at the time.
Yeah, it was.
You know,
it
so
was
like, yeah,
In extra time, Blanchy scored. Thoughts on the goal?
shanked it, mate.
I knew it. Haigh.
Sakari got wiped out in the air. Done about 4
Yeah,
flips.
Dakari, mate.
Yeah, that's what makes me laugh about it, Nate. He done like 4 front flips, didn't he, from the
I
keeper?
know.
Don't know how
Crazy.
he got that.
In all seriousness, it was a great finish. Great composure from Blanche there.
I was buzzing with that.
Credit where credit's due. I bet he thought he won us the game as well, didn't he? I bet he thought he'd won us the game.
Yeah, it was decent.
He would have been gutted to know that we didn't win it because of that.
Yeah, that thing is, when you go in front of extra time, you think that's it, don't you? You do think you're going to be able to see it out because it's not a lot of time, is there? But yeah, that was only a long ball forward, wasn't it? It was a long ball forward. Dakari chased down, lost goals, got absolutely wiped out by the keeper, and then Blanche. I don't know what the defender was doing. Do you remember? Obviously, he's nicked it off him, hasn't he? He's tried dribbling out of the defender, isn't he?
Yeah.
With
an absolute
if you did that, I think you'd be slaughtered by all of us if you tried to do what their defender done.
Yeah.
And it's a great finish, wasn't it? It was. We don't give Blanche a lot of praise on these videos, do we, Euan? But I think we have to give a little bit of credit where it was due there, and very good finish, to be fair.
He showed his class, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said it was a 40-yard.
No, that's because he's just a bit thick and can't count.
He said it was 40 yards. Who said it was 40 yards?
Blanche
said it was 40 yards on the podcast.
Give him 30.
Edge of the box, mate.
Give him 30.
30 yards max, mate.
I'm
40 yards.
I'm giving it the 20, mate. That's all he'll get off me. Bloody hell.
40 yards, mate. Jesus. He's making it sound like it was an absolute rocket, mate. It was a great
the celebrations after that goal, I think we all felt it was that's a winning point as well. We had a bit of a bundle, didn't we? I remember that. And you couldn't go and get involved, are you? I think you're still recovering, wouldn't you? But yeah, no, it was a good moment, that. It was a big moment, wasn't
it?
Yeah, it was. It was unreal scene, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, they did equalise on the stroke of half time, extra time. Worse feeling?
My good pal Ben Wells again. Just got to track his man.
Was it him again?
Ben Wells, mate.
Oh, we should have got Wellsy on here. You and Wellsy going at each other would have been great fun.
I tell him every day, like, he's just got to track his man. I feel sorry for Haigh. So that could save, you know what I mean?
Extra work, mate. Extra work. Yeah, but it was obviously frustrating just knowing, we just got to do it again now. Obviously, running out of time as well. And, like, could be a lottery, pens, couldn't it? Like, it's one of them. It's a very frustrating time.
I didn't even get to see the goal. Blanche calls a ruck at the was obviously all down the end behind the other goal.
Yeah.
Blanche calls a ruck, and I was getting involved kicking someone out, and I found out we'd conceded after I was like, oh, great. But we had that a few times, and obviously I know we've spoken about it in other podcasts. Haig's on the first one as well. But we score a goal, and we conceded. Happened a lot in that season, didn't it? There's just another occasion, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did happen a lot. Yeah, I mean, the next round is like the obvious one. Like, it happened all the time, didn't it? Like, it just felt like, I don't know, we scored and then we'd, switch off. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was really weird. Really weird. But we're a win, so we're here now.
Yeah, that's all that matters. That is all that matters. We did get there in the end, but I say it's showing character in the same way, though, didn't it? Because obviously you are most vulnerable when you do score. But yeah, every time we did do it, we regrouped, didn't we, and started again. And I think we actually had chances after they scored, didn't we, to win it? I know, Nath, you had a shot. You actually had a nosebleed. You ended up in their box, didn't you? Near the end.
You got done as well.
2 shots.
Yeah, mate, you should have scored.
Should have scored, man.
Keeper has to make. Keeper made quite a tidy save actually for the last.
He actually played quite well. I thought.
It was the last kick of the game as well.
Yeah, the second one, though, for the last kick of the game, wasn't it? Where you hit it off your standing foot.
No.
That'd have been the moment, mate. That'd have been the moment. But to say, Good performance, though, wasn't it? Obviously, I don't know how much Haigh remembers now after he got booted in the nose. That was a. So I can't remember how long.
Place.
That was horrible. That moment. Obviously,
Yeah, No, it was in the second half extra time. Yeah.
He's proper dummy, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, it was first half because it was first half because Abs come on. I remember Abs come on and I went, like, she went, is everything all right? I went, I don't know. And I said, like, am I all right? And she went, yeah, you're fine. I was like, all right, like, no worries then.
You know what? I remember what it was. It was right near the end of the second half. Just remember, because it happened at the clubhouse end.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Second half.
Yeah, and Abs went, yeah, it looks all right. I was like, all right then. But the geezer looked at me weird. Like, I looked really strange. And I thought, all right. And I got in, obviously we had the team talk on the pitch, and everyone's looking at me like, what's going on? So I went to Abs, can I borrow your phone so I can have a look at my schnoz? I put my phone one. Before he told me I look all right, I look like the Elephant Man.
That was a horror. I've watched it back, mate, and you can tell we did speak about it off camera, Haigh, didn't we? But he's left that on you. He left it on you.
100%. Fair play to him. Fair play to him. Yeah.
I don't know how
it all worked out all right for him, didn't it? Because he scored the winning pen for Leamington, didn't he? After doing that, I know he missed it, didn't he?
We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll give that full glory in a minute, mate. But you know, I can't see how the ref ain't seen it personally. I cannot see how
he get a booking.
Yeah, I think he got a yellow.
You're right, he did. So he saw something.
Yeah. I did like though, watched it on video. Pollock's reaction, mate. Probably backing his keeper, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think Pollock got booked as well, didn't he?
Oh, did he? What for pushing him?
Mm.
Yeah, Pollock's a boy, mate.
Where was you, Nate? You have to back your keeper up, surely.
I didn't really know what's going on.
Too busy picking his toe up after his shank of a shot, mate.
No, in all honesty, I actually didn't see it properly. But when I saw the occasion, I wanted to get myself involved, but I think I was a bit late.
You're too far away, mate. He's on the far side of the pitch. We'll let you off.
He's running the other way, mate. He's shouting, go on, boys, running the other way, mate.
So, do you remember it? Do you remember the incident, Haigh, apart from obviously that what Abby was saying, or did just a bit of a blur?
Yeah, a bit of a blur. Like I didn't like black out or anything. I just remember like just a thud, and then just like I don't know, just Abs telling me I'm fine, and then not being fine. I remember like sitting. Nah. Like the first impact was like, yeah, that hurt. But then after, it wasn't throbbing or anything. I think it was just numb. I think it was quite a cold night. It was like it wasn't hot. Like so, my face was probably a bit numb, to be honest. Like I didn't really like feel anything. I remember like trying to talk, and I couldn't talk properly because I just sounded like I was probably like slobbering everywhere. I was trying to talk and that, I just couldn't feel my face.
It was it just got dark, and it was February, but it was a Saturday. It's cold February, wasn't it? I think the lights were just face was probably freezing. It was canvy, wasn't it? So just remember that it's canvy and cold.
When the game did go to penalties, were you nervous or were you quite confident?
I remember Scopesy read the names out in it, 1 to whatever, and I remember I was 6, so I probably thought I wasn't number 5 in the 5. But then when I heard 6, I was like, oh. I forgot I was in front of. I was like, because we done penalties on the Thursday. I think the game was on. We done the penalties on the Thursday, and literally everyone scored, but I missed. So I thought, there's no way he's gonna put me on a pen. And then when Saturday came and I heard I was 6, I was a bit like, fuck, if I should be taking this.
I bet you was begging how you say that last one.
Yeah, I can't lie. I was.
Yeah, mate. Look, I love a penalty shootout, mate. Like it's just for a keeper, it's just a free hit. You can either like not say one and then, like, you're obviously disappointed that you're out, but you don't get any blame, or you save one and you look absolutely mustard.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a bit of a free hit, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But for the outfield player, if I wasn't nervous, but if I was taking one, I would have just smashed it down the middle as hard as I could.
I didn't even know what I was going.
Oh, that's funny.
Run up to it and hit the ball.
I was
looking forward. It's the first it's the first shootout we'd had with you in goal, Haigh, wasn't it? But obviously, you'd shown your credentials early in the rounds against Slough, and it was against Slough, wasn't it? So I was quite looking forward to it, because obviously I'd seen your Haybridge heroics that we all that you lived off. So you had to get something new to live off, didn't you? Really? So
it's getting old, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, you had to do
So I
something
thought I'll
new.
do it the next season instead.
So yeah, thing is, with penalties, everyone's going to be nervous, aren't they? Because it's a lottery. It is a lottery. No matter how you look at it, you say the fact you can say as a goalkeeper, it's a free hit. You know, you can be a hero, and if you concede 5, no one really bats an eyelid at you. So you know, it was a horrible feeling. That was. I remember walking up to the end for the penalties. It was horrific. I was just so nervous. It's horrible.
Karma, though, isn't it, for the guy that done me like a kipper?
Yeah, I know. We've got to give
shocking on that.
You can't wait to talk about it. We've got we've got another penalty to talk about.
No, I feel I've got a lot of bitterness towards him. So
you're not showing it, mate. You're not showing it.
I just wanted to know that he's.
The thing that sticks with me about this penalty shootout was obviously
they missed. We scored. They missed. And then
That's
Danny
it.
Green missed.
Yeah, what Danny Green?
Yeah.
My feeling, right? They hit the bar, didn't they? We'd scored our first one.
Yeah, Corley scored first.
And then obviously they hit the bar. Then I see Greeny walking up, and I think we're 2-0 up here. We're 2-0 up. It's going to be 2-0. Then he spanks the bar. I thought this is not going to be. I genuinely thought. I don't know how you two felt, but I thought that was it. I thought this is going to get turned around with us now. And our banker had missed.
You'd put him on Greeny, wouldn't you?
I've had my house on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Hit the bar. He tried going.
Yeah.
He went to his right and hit the bar. I couldn't believe it. It's horrible.
He missed.
It was. Haigh, then come on. So obviously you'd had the kick to your beak. When I look back, you didn't see that with it. Do you remember much about the shootout? About knowing what? Obviously, I know you. I'm not going to give you a lot away, but you do a lot of work on your penalties with our analysts. Yeah. Did you feel like you was just in a bit of a mate, like a bit of a daze with it all, and was just trying to get through it?
Yeah, a little bit. Put it this way, like beforehand, I spoke to Scott several times to make 100% sure, because I didn't quite know. Yeah, a little bit. I think it's one of them, like, you know, when you're there, you know, like when, like, it just feels like you're daydreaming a little bit, like you're there but you're not there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But as soon as you want it, and you're there, you know you're there as well. Because didn't everybody run on, or was that Royston?
I think it was that one as well.
Both games.
Yeah.
Both, yeah. We knew straight
away. Was that one of the best moments of your career?
Oh, it's so up there, isn't it? Like, it's just got to be so up there. I think it's just one of them, isn't it? But obviously, it's, you know, a lot of luck's involved. But I think it's like a lot of the time I was having a discussion with Scott the other day, and like a lot of the time, like as a keeper, like the saves you make, like you might make a save that's just like, you know, like a decent save, but it's the moment that you make it in, like, that makes the big difference. So, like, for example, like, there would have been like a couple of saves I made in, like, I think it might have been the Royston game, where like, so like, I think a few people are like, oh, that was unbelievable, and in my head I'm thinking, oh, I should save that, but it's like the moment that it happens that makes it so good. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for me that is, because of the moment, probably the best. I did prefer the Royston one, the Royston penalty, to be honest, but because it had a little double in there. But I think the moment, it was just scenes. Yeah, it was good.
The perfect height. If you're a goalkeeper, right, I play in goal, but not to the level you do, obviously. But that penalty was, if there's a penalty there's a very key penalty, and you're a goalkeeper thinking, I need to save this. He put it exactly where you'd want it, didn't he? The perfect height. It weren't too much in the corner. It was just there for you, wasn't it? If you guess the right way, maybe no matter what.
He felt bad, didn't he?
Yeah. So as people have quite realised, the person that kicked Haigh's nose is the one that missed the penalty. So that's where football karma does come in. If anyone watching this ever believes football karma don't exist, I think there's proof. because he shouldn't have been on the football pitch, should he? Let's not lie. He shouldn't have been on that pitch, and then him being on the pitch actually meant we went through. So it's quite nice, wasn't it? Quite nice.
Yeah,
For you, obviously, we touched on it earlier about 23s. Did that really bring home to you how much men's senior football means? Like, you've come from a 23s environment where you don't have the cup ties and stuff. Was that the first time you really felt like what senior football is about, the winning at all costs sort of thing?
Yeah, to be fair, I ain't really experienced much of that in QPR so far, but it was a good memory, man. I think it showed me how much it means to just not the players, but the fans and everyone in it with the club.
Yeah. It's quite a good thing for you to experience as well, isn't it? You know, you come from that environment where you don't have it, and you first experience of men's senior football, you've got some massive games to be a part of, and it shows you the emotion that's involved at our level, doesn't it, as well?
I think, to be fair to Nath as well, he took to a lot of the players and the fans and board and that as well. So I think a lot of the time, obviously, when you go out on loan or you get someone on loan, it might just be part of it. To be fair to Nath, he was right amongst it. He got on really well with everybody, so it probably made that kind of personal connection even stronger for him. To be fair, because he really got quite close to a lot of the players and the staff as well, didn't he, mate? Yeah,
mate. Great club. Great club.
Yeah. So the thing is, I was going to touch on that. Obviously, it has been discussed. We're discussing a couple of earlier ones with Scopesy and stuff. That I think is compliment to firstly Haigh and the players that were there, and then the management team as well. That you boys coming in, Nath, for the loans we got in, we had a couple of poor ones, but then we had a run again. Tom Clifford, we got you, we got Wellesley, Scotty Haigh, Kit. You all bought into Concord Rangers Football Club. You all knew what it meant and how the club should play. Now, what made it for you? What made you buy into it? Was it the players being quite welcoming, or was it Scopesy with the way he was with you?
It was a bit of both, to be honest. Obviously, I won't lie. When I was at QPR, I tried to get a couple of loans, but it's no one really gave me the chance. You know what I mean? They really take me in. So when Concord gave me the chance at first, I appreciated it straight away. And then when I come in, I met the boys. I met Scopesy, Adam, everyone, Minch. They understood me straight away how I was. You know what I mean? And they gave me the chance in it. So I always just appreciate them. Appreciate that. So I think you can only play your best in it when you have that sort of environment around you, where you feel like you're wanted. You know what I mean? And I felt like I was wanted straight away. So I always just wanted to give back. Yeah, and
you give loads back to us. You're saying on the game we had, that game we had four of you, and it's compliment to you as well that you've taken your chance, you appreciated it, and then you give back everything in your performances. And Concord has always been a hard-working club. You give everything for the club, you'll get a lot back. Obviously you've got a manager who will give you the chance to do it, as Haigh knows. Obviously you stepped up 2 levels, Haigh, didn't you? Given the chance and the opportunity to perform. And then you've also got someone that I think if you cut Scopes, he'd be yellow and blue. And he drives that into every player, whether you're a loan player, whether you're an existing player of ours, you know what I mean? And it's compliment to you how much you took the club in and how much you care, you know what I mean? And it goes a long way. You remembered. If you put your heart into this football club, you're remembered. And you're definitely part of that, Nathan. Obviously, Haigh, you are anyway, but we'll tell you that enough, so...
We already asked Haigh this in previous episodes, but Nathan, what's your top 3 games in the competition?
I like Bath, to be honest, because I don't know if it was mentioned, but I had a bit of shenanigans after the game. I didn't really like the gaffer, what was doing to Crash and stuff. So when we won, they was already in the change room, and we were celebrating outside. And as we walked past, I've kicked the door and ran into our change room, and the geezers come out trying to get into something with me, and I was just laughing at him. I was having good vibes in there. So yeah, I always remember that Bath game. I like the Leamington game as well, to be fair. I just think it was up and down, up and down. We scored, they scored, we scored, they scored. was a good experience, that one. And lastly was the semi, I think. The 2-1 win.
Yeah.
Purely because the left winger was chatting so much all game to me. That was just in his head. And I've never had a game where I'm in someone's head so much. I was having fun. And I even got an assist. And I don't bother celebrating. I just run straight in his face. Just having fun, mate.
Yeah, that Haigh Owen game, it's a game that I'll always remember. So your performance, obviously you only come in that week, didn't you? You come back in. You know,
Yeah,
we had to sign. Yeah, we literally, I think it's like the Tuesday or Wednesday, you come back in, didn't you?
Yeah.
We found out on the previous Friday that we're playing it. This is the rules. You're allowed, and you'd come from having quite an easy probably pre-season because you're preparing for 23 football or whatever. Then you've been thrust into this big game all of a sudden, didn't you? Performance was near faultless. And I say you got your assist as well, didn't you? Which you deserved.
Keys ahead into his own net.
Yeah, that's it. Wardy just left it. His leg, didn't it? Yeah. I'm glad someone said Haigh Owen. I don't think I'm one of the only people who said Haigh Owen. So
I don't think it
people don't mention it because there wasn't fans in it, so we didn't have the same you know what I mean, afterwards and stuff. But the game itself was a good game, you know what I mean. And we scored. I don't know. We scored kind of late as well.
Yeah.
Wally scored a shit. Yeah.
Imagine Wally's goal with fans.
That's what
Do you know
I'm
what I
saying.
mean? Like, imagine his goal with fans. It'd be absolute scenes.
That's what I'm saying. We had a few fans looking over in it, but they're not proper in the stadium, you know what I mean?
On top of the ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good game, man.